Hey traders, Jason here from Levitt Brothers. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a simple trade that I execute pretty routinely with a couple simple indicators. Okay, I teach the details of this in my masterclass, and of course at Levitt Brothers, where we offer trading ideas and such. I post trades there with these indicators on our message board. So simple stuff, keep it simple. This type of setup happens all the time. Overall, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a stock to move and then pause and then move again. I never get the first move because the first move just kind of happens out of nowhere. But after the first move takes place, typically on volume, that puts it on my radar. And then I'm looking to get the second move, and I just have a couple indicators that I use to help time the entry of the second move. So you get a stock that moves from 10 to 12, pauses, and then the second move is from 12 to 14 or 15. I'm looking to get that second move. So here are a couple of examples. I'll show first the daily chart, and then I zoom in a little bit with the hourly chart to look at more detail. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here is Palantir. So what I'm looking for, you can see on the left side of the chart in March and April, the stock was pretty quiet. Then over here, the second week of May, you can see it jumped up right over here, moved sideways for a little bit more than a week, and then it continued up. So again, I'm not going to get the first move. In this case, it happened on earnings. Doesn't always happen on earnings. Sometimes it does. I'm not going to get the first move. Stock then moves sideways, pauses, does a little backing and filling. Typically, it finds support at a key moving average, and then I'm looking to nail the second move. So this is the daily. Let's zoom into the hourly chart. All right, this area over here is that pause. Okay, so what you see here is you see support at the 50. You see the RSI breaks out here. You see, and I teach trend line breaks on the RSI in my master class. We have an A, B, whoops, that's a little big, C pattern with the MACD, and then we see the stochastic also breaks out from a miniature double bottom. So everything lines up here. On the daily chart, you have a big move up, you have sideways pause to let the stock digest its gains. Then you have RSI breaks out, you get an ABC setting up at the MACD, you get a breakout from the stochastic, and then you get a continuation of the trend up. All right, next example, plug power. All right, so here the stock was trending down. You can see it gets batted back by the 21. The 21 starts to get above the 21 here. Got a little bit of a triangle pattern here. It breaks out, as you can see in early June, pauses for 4 days, and then moves up from there. So I'm going to miss the first move, as I've said, because it typically happens. It's typically a surprise. You don't see it happening. After the stock pauses, I'm looking to get the second move. So let's zoom in on this area here and look for an entry on the hourly chart. All right, so here is that. Let me mark it up a little bit. So here was the initial breakout. Okay, and this area over here, right here is, is the pause. Okay, so what we have here is we have a breakout from like a falling pattern. Okay, we have a breakout from the RSI, and again, I teach that in my master class. We have an A, B, C setup with the MACD, and then you have the stochastic had already crossed up and was trending up at the time that this broke out here. So again, everything lines up. On the daily chart, you have a stock that jumps out of a base, okay, then pauses. Then on the hourly chart, you got support from the 50 here, and then you get a breakout from trend line resistance. You get a breakout at the RSI. You got an ABC pattern at the MACD. You get the stochastic is trending up. Everything lines up for a continuation up, and in this case, the stock went from 925, 950 up into the mid 11s. It's a great short-term trade. All right, next up, this is Rocket Lab. Okay, stock came out of a base here at 4.2, okay, and then it pulled back, paused here for about 2 weeks, got support here from the 21-day EMA, and then it continued up. So again, my goal is to nail the second move. So let's zoom into the hourly chart. All right, so this one dropped below its 50. So our best signals here are going to come from a trend line break and from the stock breaking out of the 50. So the stock, this is the pullback, this is the pause. Okay, so when the stock breaks out of here and gets above its 50, that's going to be our best tell. But we also have the RSI coming out of a base here. It breaks out. We have the MACD crossed up here, came down and kissed its signal line, and then moved up there. And then you have the stochastic, which had moved down and then cycled up there. So you still get pretty good signals from the indicators, but our best signal is just a breakout of trendline resistance and the 50-day moving average. So again, stock moved up, pauses, and then moves up again. My goal is to nail that second move. All right, last one, Tesla. Actually, this isn't Tesla. This is TSLL, which is has a little bit of leverage compared to Tesla. So the stock came out of a base here at 10 bucks, got above it. Then we have a pause here for a couple days and then a continuation up. So again, I'm not going to nail the first move, but after the stock does some backing and filling, after it corrects a little bit, after it pauses for a few days or a week, maybe a little bit longer, then I'm looking to nail the second move. So we come over here to the hourly chart. Okay, this move over here is the pause. You can see it finds support at the 50 period moving average, which on this is the hourly chart. You have the RSI breaking out of a little base there in the middle of its range. You have an A, B, C pattern with the MACD, and then you have the stochastic breaking out of a little double bottom in the middle of its pattern. Okay, I teach each one of these indicators in my masterclass, RSI, MACD, stochastic. I teach each one individually, talk about what it is, how to trade it, numerous examples, and here I'm just combining them to help time and entry. Okay, I like this chart on the daily, and I just zoom in on the hourly chart just to time and entry to get a little bit better. And as you can see here, stock moved up, paused for a couple days, continued up, and we got lots of assistance from, the indicators lining up here. And of course, Tesla has done very well. Okay, so again, hope you got something out of this. Simple setup. You just need one simple setup that you can practice, get good at, execute over and over and over, and then you could be a full-time trader who makes a lot of money. You don't need to make things complex. You don't need to have dozens of setups. Just like one or two good trades each week with a simple strategy that you've practiced enough that you've learned the nuances is all you need. Again, I teach these indicators and this setup in my masterclass, and of course I post trade ideas at Levitt Brothers, both on our official trading list and on the message board throughout the week. So I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you next time.